So I want to talk to you about skirting boards, okay? So quite often now we're using very modern, what I call plain skirting boards. This is a plain skirting board. It is literally 100mm by 18mm, dead square edged. And so it's fairly straightforward. It's a mitre on the external, obviously. And unlike a normal skirting board where you probably scribe the internal, which is what you'd do if you had any shape to it, this we don't do, but I personally do something for this which just improves the joint on the corner and I think just holds it all together better. So this video is a little tip about how I join square or plain edged skirting in a corner. So like all skirting jobs, I start by just rough cutting all of my skirting to length, adding on like 50mm or 2 inches, just so we can first of all start in the corner. And we get this cut here, right? So whatever the plaster's doing there, if it's sloping out this way, if it's curling in that way, we just get that to fit. And that's the first job, okay? And we leave the other end's got a mitre, we leave that. Then we take the next section, which is gonna butt into this, and we offer it against the wall, nice and hard, and we push it up to there. And it's at this point where I do my little adjustment to this to make a much better fit. You can either pencil it up, or I prefer a knife scribe. So I'm holding both bits of skirting in place, that one back, this one against, and then I'm just going to take a knife and literally just put a nice cut up here on the face of the skirting. You can do this in softwood, hardwood. In my case, we've got an MDF. I'm going to take that away, and then what I get left with is a small mark which I am going to cut out, and what I'm going to do is put housing on there. Housing is basically just a parallel rip of material that I'm going to take out, and it's going to form a rebate, and that rebate will hold that end of this piece of skirting in really nicely. Now it's just a matter of cutting out this. It's really straightforward. Now how much do I cut out? So I only want to cut out about 6mm maximum, so that's roughly a third of the thickness of this skirting board. So I'm just going to take out around about this much here. So it's roughly 6mm, all right, about a third. And the way I'm going to do that is just with a handsaw, just going to cut through this line here. Now if you take an offcut of this with a nice square end on it, and if you clamp that on that line, on that Stanley knife line there, like so, if you clamp that on, it gives you the perfect edge to run your saw against. Because you're only cutting shallow, as you cut, it's going to skate around, and what you don't want to do is mark the face here. So that is a really nice little tip. You can just clamp that on there, cut it, and you can use just a chisel, because when you push the MDF grain, if you like, in, it always splits nice and straight. And you can actually take a little bit more out of the bottom of the cut here, so the top is all nice and smooth. So we're going to cut that out now, and I'll show you how nice it looks once it's fitted. So that's all I've got to remove. It's a really, really simple little job. So it's just a matter of running the saw through here and then using a chisel just to split that out, keeping it nice and neat. As I said, you can use another piece. If I put another piece over the top with a good straight edge there, I can just use my handsaw against it, and it will be super easy. And I can clamp that if I wanted. In fact, let's put a clamp on just for what it's worth. You don't want it to move around, you want a nice neat job. So we just put a clamp on back here somewhere. Now I could use this chop saw, couldn't I? But the thing is, I've got this set for miters, and it really doesn't warrant setting all of this up to depth for the odd one of these. There's only a few in this room here. Then I'm just going to use the handsaw. Because it's nice and held here, it's just a matter of running the handsaw along a few times, and it's going to be absolutely spot on. Down to our line. I can overcut the bottom this side because it's against the floor, never seen. So I'll take it down to there. Leave that here for now. Take ourselves a nice sharp chisel, and just like you would with any other material, timber, you can just literally start it off. Look how easy it comes away. Yeah? And just pare it back till you get to the line. There we go. It's such a nice material to do this with the MDF. You can just literally pare it back, and before you take it in, once you've pared it back enough to your shoulder lines, there, get yourself an offcut and just basically try it in and make sure you're really happy with it. All right, and that's it. So I'm just going to clean the shoulder here as well. Really nice sharp edge on that, and that just gives you a really nice finish. So once you've cleaned it up, this is effectively what it's going to look like. It's such a nice job. It's just such a nice way of finishing that off. Let's go and try it in the room. So the basic cut will look like this. First piece of skirting will be fixed, and the next piece will come along and just slot in, and it looks absolutely mint. So that's it. That's what I do with the square edge skirting on the internal corners, and once you try it, you'll realise just how easy it is and how much better it goes together and it looks.